It was a quiet, almost routine night at San Francisco International Airport, and Officer Sam Larson was about to finish his shift. The sky outside was dark, and the airport terminal was nearly empty, save for a few late-night travelers. His partner, K9 Duke, a Belgian Malinois, sat beside him, eyes alert, tail wagging slightly as they both prepared for the last leg of their night. The shift had gone as usual, a few people caught trying to smuggle in prohibited goods, a couple of families carrying fruit that didn't belong on a plane. But then came the last flight of the night, a delayed arrival from Seoul, and with it, something that would change everything. Duke was the kind of dog who could detect anxiety from a mile away. It wasn't just about sniffing out drugs or explosives. Duke could sense fear, guilt, or something out of place in an instant. Sam had always trusted him. They'd been through too much together for him not to. So when Duke's ears suddenly pricked up and his body went rigid as they passed a young woman pushing a stroller, Sam knew something wasn't right. The woman was alone, except for her baby, wrapped in a blanket, sitting peacefully in the stroller. Her face was calm, but Sam could see the telltale signs of nervousness. Her eyes darted around, and her grip on the stroller handle was tight, as though she was trying to hold on to something more than just the stroller itself. Duke growled softly, just enough for Sam to hear it, and Sam's gut twisted. He gestured toward the woman, and Duke moved, guiding them closer. "Ma'am, just a routine check," Sam said in his usual calm tone, trying to ease her tension. But the woman flinched, her hand instinctively pulling the stroller away from Duke. She wasn't acting like a regular traveler. Most people, even if they were a little nervous, didn't react this way. Sam noticed her eyes flicker as she quickly glanced at her baby, then back at him. It was subtle, but enough for him to catch. "Where are you arriving from?" Sam asked, his voice casual. "Seoul," the woman answered too quickly. It wasn't the answer he expected. "Direct flight?" "Yes." Her response was clipped. Something wasn't adding up, and as Duke moved closer to the stroller, sniffing the air around it, Sam felt his suspicion grow. The woman's voice went a little higher, too high to be natural. "Please, can you keep your dog away from my baby?" Sam smiled politely, but his mind was racing. "He's just doing his job, ma'am." But Duke was insistent, moving in closer, his nose going to work around the stroller. As he circled, Sam noticed something odd. The blanket covering the baby wasn't moving in the way it should, almost as if something was tucked underneath it, restricting the baby's movement. It didn't feel right. "Is everything okay with your child?" Sam asked. "He seems uncomfortable," he added, gently probing. The woman's response was quick, defensive. "He's fine. Just a stomach ache from the flight." Sam wasn't buying it. Duke's growling became more intense, a sound that only occurred when he felt something was deeply wrong. The woman shifted nervously, looking around, her eyes darting towards the exit. Sam stepped forward. "Ma'am, I'm going to need to check the stroller," he said firmly, his tone leaving no room for negotiation. The woman's face went pale. She backed away, gripping the stroller even tighter. "No, you don't understand. He's just tired, please," she begged. But there was something in her voice now, desperation, fear. Sam's instincts kicked in. He stepped closer, his hand motioning for Duke to stay focused. Duke, to his credit, remained on high alert, eyes locked on the stroller, refusing to back down. "Ma'am, I understand you're upset, but my dog is indicating that something is wrong. I need to check the stroller," Sam repeated, his voice calm, but unyielding. And then it happened. Duke lunged at the stroller, his paws landing directly on its edge. The woman screamed, jumping back as the stroller tipped, sending a blue baby blanket flying to the floor. Beneath it, there was a glint of metal. A gleaming handgun, a Glock 19, its safety off. The woman's face drained of color. "Gun!" Sam shouted, his hand reaching for his own weapon. Everyone down. Security surged forward, and the terminal, which had been quiet moments ago, was now filled with shouting officers and confused passengers scrambling to find cover. Sam looked at the woman, her hands shaking as she backed away, her face a mix of fear and guilt. He stepped forward, his voice calm but authoritative. "Ma'am, I need you to step away from the stroller and place your hands behind your head." The woman's lip quivered, her face pale, but she complied. Tears began to fall. "I didn't mean to. I was trying to protect him," she whispered. Sam stood there, holding her in place as other officers secured the scene. It wasn't just a routine customs inspection anymore. This was something much bigger, something that would require every ounce of his training and instinct to unravel. As they escorted the woman, now identified as Anna Miller, to secondary inspection, Sam's mind raced. How had she gotten the gun past security? And why was she using her baby to hide it? The answers weren't coming easy. The secondary inspection room was quiet, tense. Anna's eyes were swollen from crying. Her baby was still in the stroller, calm now, as if the chaos around him hadn't even registered. Sam could see she was more than just a smuggler. Her story was far deeper, more complicated than a simple case of bringing in a hidden firearm. With a sigh, Sam asked the question that had been hanging in the air for the last few minutes. "Why were you bringing this gun through the border, Anna?" Her voice cracked as she spoke. "To protect my son. From my husband. He would have found us. He's dangerous. He's always watching." And just like that, Sam's whole perspective shifted. Anna wasn't a criminal. She was a woman trying to escape a nightmare. Her husband, a violent man with connections, had been controlling her every move. He'd even put a tracking device in her phone. Anna's story came out in pieces, every word a desperate plea for help. She had fled, crossed borders, changed her identity all to protect her baby. She was terrified of what would happen if her husband found them. And now, here she was, caught in a lie she had to tell just to serve VYVE. Sam didn't know what would happen next. But one thing was certain: his job wasn't just about catching criminals. It was about understanding the bigger picture, about finding the truth beneath the surface. He looked at Anna, her eyes pleading for mercy, for understanding. "You're not alone in this," he said quietly. "We'll help you, but you need to trust us." Months later, Sam received a call. Anna and her son were safe, under a new identity, living in a quiet town far from her past life. She had gotten the help she needed, and her husband had been arrested on charges of abuse, stalking, and weapons trafficking. It was one of those moments that made Sam pause and reflect on the nature of his work. It wasn't about the badge or the uniform, it was about the people. Sometimes, the real criminals weren't the ones you were chasing. Sometimes, the people in the most dire situations were the ones in need of rescue. As he closed his eyes that night, he thought of Duke, his partner, who had sensed the danger before anyone else. Duke had done more than just sniff out a weapon. He'd saved a life. And that was all that mattered. What would you have done in Anna's position? Would you have risked everything for your child's safety? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories from the world of K9 heroes.